Okay, so let's talk about our acoustic space. So here I'm in my control room. This is where I do my mixing. I do some of my recording, like performing, like plugging in guitars and recording in here. Anything that is direct sound, doing here. Anything that's coming out of speakers, doing here. Anything that's in microphones. Generally, it's best if you have a separate live room. In a traditional studio, you would have your live room and you would have a control room and you would have your microphones and the instruments set up in your live room. And then the signal will be running through the walls, really through a control box or a snake or somewhere that you could plug the mics into the wall, and then it'll be fed into the control room, which stores the console, your audio interface, stores everything that you're controlling the sound, your computer, your mixer, studio monitors, and all the hardware, all the equipment like that. So this acoustic's really, in your control room, you don't want your control room to sound exactly dead, but you don't want it to sound lively, and you definitely don't want it to sound like it's echoing. You don't want a big empty room. You don't want something that's way too small and you're too confined. So then when you're mixing, sound's just going to be bouncing around everywhere, and you're going to not mix to the way the sound is, but you're mixing rather to what the room is telling you. So it's very important to make sure that you look at the size dimensions of your room, look at the way it's shaped, and think, okay, is this the best room to have a control room in my house? Sometimes it's the only option that you've got. Sometimes you can only got this spare room, or you've only got a space in a corner in your living room to set up. But there are ways around that in the way that you mix, in the way that you record. There is different methods of treatment that you can put up in your space. You can buy acoustic foam, put up. You can learn how to position it correctly in the room. You can look at doing other alternatives. Like I've set up a mattress down the side wall here. So I have my speakers in front of me pretty much here. And then the speakers are going to be facing my ears. So we talked about the way positioning monitors in an equilateral triangle. So then basically the sound's going to be coming down the opposite walls beside you. So the speaker on your left the speaker on your right, is going to be going into the left wall, and then the left is going to be going to the right wall. So it's very important to target those walls on the sides first, and then also what you have behind you. So I've just got plain wooden doors behind me. I can put up acoustic foam, but I found that I've already killed the direct sound with the first reflections going straight off the walls. And also, I don't really want to stick up too much stuff on the wall, on the doors, just, in case of keeping the house the way it is. But there is other alternatives you can do. You can buy little clips, and they're both sticky on each side. You can go to places like Bunnings, and for $12 you can get little like egg carton foams. You don't want to put up, like actual egg cartons. They're not going to do anything to the sound. They're just cardboard. What you want is, solid foamy material. And we'll talk about the different types of materials and how they work acoustically. But also anywhere you've got a window, curtains are great. Blockout curtains are probably the best in terms of dampening the sound, really. So what you want to try and do, especially if you have a big room, is you want to kill the reverb time in the room. And that's just going to happen more by storing more things in the room. I've got a bookcase on this side of here, so books are a great way of killing those reflections and killing the echo in the room. You've got tiled floors as well, so lay down just a carpet all across the floor. Straight away that killed the room sound, the room tone. And the curtains, definitely. The mattress for sure. The furniture, gonna need. So your desk, those hard surfaces on your desk, if you have a mixer, your control surface, the sound's gonna be bouncing off there. So the two properties really are, you know, how flat your room's gonna be, your frequency content. You know, ideally, you want a room that is flat. So, you know, the whole frequency spectrum, you know, it just doesn't sound too bassy, or it doesn't sound, you know, not enough low end in your room, or it doesn't, or the room, you know, it's got problems in the mid-range really. And all those things come down to the size of the room, the way it's shaped, like I said, the materials in the room. So when you're mixing, you want to get the truest sound that you can possibly get, so that way your room doesn't tell you that it sounds too bassy, and then you're not adding in enough low end, and then you listen to it somewhere else and you think, where'd the low end go, really? And if you are happy with your room, another great way to mix is just by using headphones, as headphones will eliminate the room sound completely, and they would just let you mix specifically on what those headphones you got sound like, and then you can get used to the way the headphones sound, and you can have an idea of how you need to do your mixes really. So listening to reference tracks is another great way as well. Just come into a room, set up the way you want to be, and then put on some songs that you know sound great. Maybe you have a playlist on Spotify or something of 10 songs that you think can mix really well, and have an idea of how they sound through the speakers and how they sound in your room. And then you can listen to them, compare to some of your mixes, and go, okay, well, I know when I mix in my room that this is the way it should sound, and when I'm mixing it, I found that my room, I'm adding too much high end, low end,